So thank you guys for coming on with me. And if you have any comments, I've got another screen here. If you have any questions as we're going, then I will try to follow those. They don't always come in real time. So write any questions you have as we go along the way. But I wanted to talk about falling in love with your business again, because I feel like this is one of those times of year where I do feel like we are really busy in November. There's lots of momentum. We're just coming off of convention. We have all of the holiday items. We've got the new products that were launched at convention. We've got the holidays coming up. And so there's just a ton of momentum in November. We've got record-breaking rank advancements. December, again, there's so much momentum, so much stuff going on. And then we kind of pulled in all different directions with our family and all of the holiday season. And then January kind of hits and I'm like, okay, I've got my goals for the year. I'm going to, and I set all of these goals, but I'm also just kind of in recovery mode still too. And I feel like sometimes if we're not careful, by the time the January comes, we're kind of like all over the place because a lot of our structure was kind of thrown up in the air during the holiday season, but that yet we have these new goals we're trying to reach. And so I just wanted to take today to kind of reflect and make sure that we're falling in love with our business again. So again, this is me, Melyna. So I've been doing this for 9 years now, and I've gone through different cycles in my doTERRA business where, you know, there's times where I just can't sleep at night. I'm so excited for projects that are going on, and I'm just thinking about all of the people who I've heard from that day that are sharing their stories of health or wealth that I've been able to impact their lives, and that's a really amazing feeling. And sometimes I am just so jazzed about this business to almost default, like this, I just can't stop thinking about it. I've got all these ideas and I'm really excited. And then there's other times where I'll turn to John and just say, don't even say the D word to me today. Like if I hear doTERRA one more time today, sometimes I'm just a little bit over it. And so when we get to that point, we want to make sure that we're reflecting to really nourish our business so that we can fall back in love with it. If you're feeling any of these feelings, if you're not good, you know, we all go through different cycles. So there's a couple of keys that I wanted to talk about today. And there's so many things we could do to help fall in love with our business again, but there's just 3 that I wanted to pick during this half-hour session with you guys. So the first is time, and then there's perspective, and then obviously the choice versus should, the choices that we're making and how those are going to affect our business. Let me just see if I've got any comments from you guys here yet. Okay. So it seems like try to follow those. They don't always come in real face. Don't mind my double screen. So let's move on to the first thing. I want to look at our time. Because a lot of times if we don't manage our time correctly, we can start feeling burnt out. And when you feel burnt out, you are no longer able to serve the world as you're meant to. I fly a lot. Many of you might travel a lot, or at least a lot more now with doTERRA. And the first thing they say on every single plane ride is make sure to put your oxygen mask on first, should the cabin lose air pressure, before you help anybody next to you. And it's so crucial because if you're passed out, you cannot help anybody. If you're burnt out, you are not serving people the way that you should be. You're not showing up the way that you are meant to light up. You don't have that energy. You don't have that passion. And your excitement, your confidence, your passion is really the secret sauce in this business. I have traveled so many different places with top leaders in doTERRA, presidential diamonds for, past five or 6 years. And I remember just like, I love to analyze how people work. So analytical is my top 5 strengths. And I'm just trying to figure out like, okay, so what is it that makes a presidential diamond a presidential diamond? You know, what's going on? And some of them are really outgoing. There's a lot of introverts. There's people that are, you know, really savvy with technology. There's other people that don't even know how to create a PowerPoint. And so it's just always been very interesting to me. But I found that the real common denominator of success in this business is that people were really passionate and excited and confident about this mission that we're on to bless others' lives. And so it's hard to feel that way if we are burnt out, or if we're feeling mom guilt that, or dad guilt that, you know, maybe our family's been a little bit neglected, or if we're trying to do all the things all the time. So I coach with Dan Sullivan in it's a 10X program for high-level entrepreneurs. And it's really been wonderful. This is my second year coaching with him. So every quarter I fly out to Toronto and we spend 2 days just diving into things that help us run a business better. Because you guys, I'm like most of you, many of you, I don't have a background. I actually don't even have a college degree, right? I don't have a background in business. I've had some different businesses and I've done some different things, but I've never really been trained on how to run a 7-figure business. So I love everything that I'm learning there. And one of the main things that I've learned is this concept of free days, focus days, and buffer days. And there's actually a book by Dan Sullivan if you wanted to read it. But really what it is about organizing your time, because I don't know if you guys feel like your life is just a big melting pot of like doTERRA and life and social and parenting and church stuff and everything just kind of mixed together. And so you feel like you're being pulled in all the directions at the same time. And that's really not a healthy way to function. But I've also noticed, like, I get to the end of the day sometimes and I'm like, I was busy all day long. I mean, there were times where I'd have to be like, oh my gosh, it's 2 o'clock. I haven't eaten yet today. I was busy all day long. But at the end of the day, I kind of didn't feel like I really accomplished much. And that was because I was bouncing back and forth from so many things. And so I've stopped doing that. So your focus days, it's important to have a couple focus days. And these are the days that you are in your flow, you are in your zone. And it's when you're focusing on the things that actually produce income. So it is your teaching classes, it is sometimes creating content if that's how you're getting your information out there and enrolling people. It's doing your follow-up calls. Sometimes it's mentoring if that's helping with the duplication process. It's, doing lifestyle overviews, training people on LRP, doing one-on-ones. These are like the things that actually create your income. And that's what your focus days should be spent on. And you have that time blocked out, but that's all you have to worry about. So mine are Mondays and Fridays. And those are like, that's when I'm creating my content. That's when I'm doing my mentoring. That's when I'm doing my follow-up calls. And it doesn't mean that I don't do anything that create income on the other days, but those days are set aside that I don't have other stuff on my plate. And yes, I'm still a mom, so my work hours on those days are set aside that I have time blocked, that nobody is going to be interrupting me. I don't have anything else on my schedule. I don't put any appointments during those times. That's really when I'm doing my best work. Now, buffer days are kind of looked at as prep days and cleanup days. So this is sometimes when we're putting programs together. This is when we're doing planning, planning out our weeks, planning out our months. This is when sometimes we're also putting content together. This is when we're scheduling our appointments, when we're just kind of wrapping up anything that wasn't wrapped, all the way taken care of. So these are kind of those buffer days where they're in between and you set appointments for your free days and stuff like that, okay? So if you guys have any questions or comments about these, let me know. And then free days, these are the days that are created and set aside to nourish yourself. This is like putting on your oxygen mask, because you guys, this business can wear on you. It can be really exciting, but it can also really wear on you. And so you really need to fuel your soul with the things that light you up, the things that reignite that passion and that confidence that is so important for you to be successful in this business. And it might be going to get a massage. It might be taking a nap. It might be reading a book. It might be taking a bath. But I have, generally I have Thursdays and Sundays that are my free days. So I don't check emails on those days. This week, Thursday is on the last day of the month, so I had to swap it out for another day because last day of the month is not always appropriate for me not to accept any phone calls or emails. So sometimes I swap them out, but on my free days, I guard and protect that time where I don't do calls, I don't check emails. A lot of times I don't even do anything online. Anything that I needed to post, that's all scheduled out. So unless it lights me up and refuels my soul, it's not something that I'm going to do. And that might be just even spending some time nourishing my relationships, because that can also have a huge drain on your business. If you're go business all the time, it might strain your marriage. It might strain your relationship with your kids. So on free days, I don't even listen to, like in my personal development time and my study time, I don't even listen to business books or business webinars. I always listen to parenting and marriage podcast or audiobooks those days. It has nothing to do with business. So these are things that can help me just refill in these other areas. And this is when I schedule my guitar lessons. This is when I schedule lunch dates with my husband, sometimes going to a movie, dates with my kids, pedicure, like all of those things that kind of take care of me. And it was really difficult for me in the beginning. I was kind of like, okay, I've got this day set aside, but I didn't have anything to fill that day with. I was thinking, like, what do I do? And sometimes it might be, like reorganizing my closet. That actually is something that I like to do. So like if gardening is something that you like to do, but I like to organize when I feel like things are freshly organized, I just want to take on the world. So that may or may not be a free day activity for you, but make a list of things that really light you up and kind of create that passion. And what's interesting is the day after my free days, I'm like so itching to get back to work, because I haven't touched it for a day, and I've really connected with my family, I've really connected with myself, and it helps me be 10 times more effective in the work that I'm doing. It helps me be passionate and excited about the stuff that I'm doing, because it hasn't been like a constant heavy weight on my shoulders the whole time. So, and I know some of you guys still have other jobs that you're doing. So if you move to like 3 days a week or 4 days a week, or, on take 2 days that you just don't focus on doTERRA, those are days to care for yourself. And it doesn't matter what days those are, just whatever days are the easiest for you to do that. Now, it doesn't mean that you don't do anything difficult on those days. I still have 4 children, so it's not like I'm laying on my couch and they're bringing me food. Like, we still have dinner that day, we still have dishes and different things that are going on, but I do make sure that I have cared for my soul. So, okay, we don't have any questions yet. And then that's really, I think, going to make a huge shift in your passion and energy that you bring to your business. The other thing I want to look at is perspective. So all of you that are sitting here watching this, I want you to take your pointer finger and I want you to put it like above your face, and I want you to do a counterclockwise circle along the ceiling. Okay, so just with your finger. That was not counterclockwise. Let me switch. Do a counterclockwise. Okay, and now slowly lower it down. Keep going counterclockwise. Slowly lower it down. And now look down at it, and you'll see it's now clockwise. You've gone the same exact direction. You didn't change movement. I mean, I did, because I didn't have it counterclockwise at first. But your finger has been moving the same direction the whole time. But the difference is perspective, where it could be counterclockwise up here. The only thing that changed was perspective. Your finger is still going in the same movement. And I think that perspective is so important in all the things that we do in life, but specifically in this business. There's another book called The Gap in the Gain that is by Dan Sullivan. And it talks about just really where we're putting our focus on, because so often we can feel deflated and unaccomplished. We're almost on this treadmill of goals, right? And we accomplish that goal, but the treadmill keeps moving. And so our actually just that place where we arrive and where we've done it, we've accomplished it, just keeps moving forward and forward and forward, almost like walking to a horizon. So I actually live here in Utah. We have these beautiful mountains. And if I look out the window, they look like they are like right up against me. They just look like they're 2 blocks away, right? But if I start walking towards the mountain, it's not really 2 blocks. They keep feeling like they're getting further and further away. And sometimes we go for a hike, obviously not in the winter time because it's so cold out there. But in the summer, we like to go to this little hike. It's about like maybe a mile, mile and a half with our kids. And it's a really easy hike to these little waterfalls that they can play in. And the funny thing about kids is they can be running around all day. They are jumping on couches. They have like this, they're like almost a little rubber ball of energy. But whenever it's time that they need to walk somewhere, it's like, oh, my legs are so tired. They were just running around the whole yard and everything. But now that it's time to walk, I mean, we could be at like a grocery store, we could be at an amusement park, but like their legs just do not work anymore. So sometimes this happens on our hikes. We'll be there, and especially with our youngest one, it's like, oh, my legs are so tired. I can't move anymore, Mom. I want you to carry me. And so we'll, you know, I'll hold his hand and we'll take little steps and we'll go slowly and we'll go slowly and we'll go slowly. And when you look ahead, it's like, oh my gosh, it feels like it's so far away. Like I'm still so far from the top of that mountain. And what's important to do, and what I do with him, is every so often I say, turn around, look how far you've come. Look at what you've done. You are so strong. Your legs are so strong and healthy, and they've carried you this whole way. Look at how far we've come. And I think that that's important to do in our business, because if we're just looking at our goals, and so often we measure, this is where I want to be, this is where I'm at, oh my gosh, I am failing. I am only here, and I've got this huge gap from where I want to be at. And we don't stop to turn around and look at, okay, this is where I want to be, but look how far I've come, because I started over here and I've gone this whole measure and I've come so far. And this is in many ways. It could become so far with volume and the people's lives you touch. It could become so far with the things that you've learned, the person that you've grown into, the skills that you've developed. So I really want to make sure that we're taking time to reflect on that, because that will inspire new confidence and new energy. If you're always just feeling like you're failing day after day, it's a little bit difficult to remain passionate and in love with this business. And this really shouldn't be what this business is about. My favorite thing is watching the transformation that happens with people and the confidence that they start to build. And it's the same people that are like, oh, I don't know if I could do that. Like, you really think I could hit Premier? And then, 4 years down the road, they're diamond or above, and it's really incredible. But it was just each stage going, oh my gosh, I still have so far to go to hit to diamond, right? So I really want to make sure that we're looking at that perspective of how far up the mountain we've come, how much distance we've made since we began to the point that we're at. And you might be just a month or so into this business, and I'm sure you've just learned so much. You might be years into this business. So that is really the perspective we want to shift. There's another perspective that just having that understanding that you're enough and rewarding yourself. I don't know exactly when this happened, but most marketing, specifically to women, men tend to think a little bit different. Men tend to think like, I'm amazing, I'm incredible, like I can do this. They need some reassurance, but it's not the same as women. Most marketing that is sent to women is with the message that they are not enough. They need to be skinnier, they need to be younger, they need to be prettier, they need to be a better cook, they need to be a better mom, they need to make crafts like their one aunt does. There's just this whole message of like, I'm supposed to be doing all these things and I'm not enough. And I want that message to be something that's completely wiped out of your vocabulary and out of your thought process, because you are enough. You are accomplishing great things every day. in your home, in your business, in your relationships, in your life, you are accomplishing great things. And so take time to celebrate those things, take time to take care of yourself and give yourself the love and appreciation that you deserve. And that will fuel you to be a better version of yourself that continues on that mission of the things that you are passionate about, because you are enough to do this. There's not I used to think you had to be this specific type of person to be successful. And I look around me and I'm surrounded by regular, everyday people that have so many different flaws and so many different talents and so many different quirks. And we're all making it because we have an amazing vehicle. We have an amazing product. We don't have to worry about the production, the sourcing, any of that. We just are messengers. And anybody can be a messenger when they have the passion, they have the confidence, and they've got the experiences where these amazing oils have touched our lives. So you are definitely enough. And I want you to remember that and celebrate where you've gone. The other thing that I want to talk about with perspective is just changing that should to a choice and something that you choose versus something that you feel like you always should be doing. My dad used to always say, don't should on me when we talk about like, oh, I should be doing this, I should be doing that. So there's these things that we're motivated by and there's things that we're deflated by. And so I always want you to ask yourself, does this motivate or does this deflate? And be very careful when you've got these deflating things. So often we look around and it's like, oh, I should be doing this because this person's doing that. I should be doing social media because this person's doing that. I should be doing this promo. I should be doing, and there's some basic things that everybody should be doing. It's called the pipes. You should be preparing, inviting, presenting, enrolling, and supporting your growth, right, and your team. But how you do that can vary. We try to pave a really fairly simple path for everybody, but you want to reflect on like, okay, I should be doing, let's just say like social media is the thing. A lot of people feel like, oh, I should be growing on social media, but why? I mean, ask yourself why. Why should you be doing that? Is it something that you're passionate about? Is it something that you're really good at? Is it something that you're, and it might be something that you're like, I'm not really good at it, but I'm really passionate, so I'd love to learn. Great, pour yourself into that. But really ask yourself why you should do something. And if the only reason why you should do something is because somebody else is doing it, then it might be something that you can just take off of your plate and not worry about anymore. Now, if there's something, if you ask yourself, why should I be doing this? And then it's going to give you the result that you want, then that's where we want to really pour into it. But if it's like, okay, I should do this, and we feel this pressure, because you guys, there's something interesting about the way that the mind works. People in general do not like to be told what to do. That's people in general, all across the world, right? All across like humanity. We don't really love other people telling us what to do. We also don't love being told what to do from ourselves. There's like this subconscious kickback or pushback that we get. So for example, diets don't work super well for me. Number one, it starts with the word die, so I don't believe in that being a good omen. But if I were to say like, okay, I'm not going to have any chocolate for the whole month, then it would be kind of like saying, okay, I don't want to think about pink elephants. Like, what are you thinking about when I say that? You're thinking about pink elephants. And so all I'm doing is attracting, like I'm putting this message in my head and I'm trying to like restrict and tell myself what I can't. And my subconscious is almost like, oh yeah, I can have whatever I want. Like, don't tell me what I can and can't do. And then it's like this thing that I just crave and I think about, and so much of my energy is spent there, where instead I have to really reframe that. We're going to talk about that a little bit, because we really will rebel against ourselves. We'll kind of be like, oh, I should do this. But then we kind of push back subconsciously. And then we quit, and then we feel really guilty because we're like, oh, I suck. I can't even, accomplish this goal. And then something happens, we get re-inspired. It's like, okay, I'm really ready now. I'm going to do 10 contacts a day. I'm going to, do those things. And we really get recommitted, but we haven't dove into the reason why we're committed to that yet. And so again, it still feels that heavy should feeling, and it tires us out. It's exhausting, and it's something that we procrastinate against. Nobody ever procrastinates something that they're passionate about and that they want to do, okay? Sometimes you can't do it immediately because there's other things that have to be taken care of, but you never actually procrastinate something that you want to do. So that's what I want you to think about, and we want to switch that to that choice. So let's say in your business, or even in your home, like for example, laundry would be a really easy thing to be like, oh my gosh, I have laundry and it's never ending and blah, blah, blah. And if it's this big thing that like, I should do the laundry, I should stay on top of it more, I've got piles everywhere. And we just kind of feel like we're failing it all the time. And it's this big, heavy burden that's never ending because people keep wearing clothes, then it can be something that really drains us. Where if we look at like, well, why is it important to do the laundry? Well, we can do two things. We can say, do I need to be the one that does the laundry? And it might be something that we trade out for somebody else. It might be something that we, even have our partner do or have one of our kids do, or it might be something that we look at like, why is it important that it's done? And to me, like, I actually like doing laundry because I love having organization and order in my mornings. I love my kids being able to go in their drawer and get clean clothes and not search through a sock bin because they don't have any matching socks, and not be like, Mom, where's my underwear? Because there's no clean underwear. I love the smell of fresh laundry. I don't put their laundry away. I wash all the laundry and put it on, and I do have somebody that helps with a lot of our house stuff now and does laundry. But back when I didn't, I'd put it all on the table, we'd sort it into piles, and then we'd sit there and put laundry together at night, my kids and I, and we still do this oftentimes. And it was kind of like this time where we just got to talk and match socks together. We only match socks maybe about once a week, but it gives us time to sit down and slow down and talk. And that was something that I really love. And so when I shifted perspective on that, then it became almost this exciting time and a blessing in my day where I get to sit with my kids in their room and I get to help them, and we put laundry away together and we fold socks together. We talk about their day, and it was like this great bonding experience, and it creates such a more pleasant morning or evening or whatever they're trying to get ready because everything is in its place. So I absolutely love that. And it can be the same in your business. So one area that I've kind of struggled with, and I think it's a pretty common area, is follow-up. So I love to talk to people. I love to meet people. I can get their contacts pretty much anywhere, everywhere, and I'll get their information, and then I go on with my day and I forget about it. And I'm like, oh, I should follow up with that person. But all of the stars have not magically aligned. I don't have a perfectly silent house right now. And it was just like, there was always excuses because I had some concern about what they were going to say. And I just felt like I should be doing this. So when we stop and ask, I don't know if any of you guys on here have any problems with follow-up. You can like say me if you have a problem with following up, because I don't know if I'm alone in this, but I'd almost want to like avoid, what if they didn't like it? Or what if they have a question I don't know the answer to? Or what if they think I'm bothering them? And so I just have to dissect that and dive into it. Now, and I actually had a friend that gave me some stuff and never followed up with me, and I kind of felt like she didn't care about me. So if we're following up with people genuinely to find out if they're ready or if they didn't like it, if they're not interested, it doesn't really matter to me anymore what their answer is. What matters to me is that we're making progress. We're getting to the next step. And the next step might be, hey, this is just not the time for me. And, follow up with me in like next year. I'm going through a lot right now or whatever. So I might put them on like a 6-month reminder for me to go follow up with them. Or it might be, oh, you know what? I don't know. I couldn't tell if that sample really worked, or I like these, I'm not sure, or I'm not sure what to do for this or that. And they might have some questions. So I pull out the book and we go over that. Or they might say, yeah, I like that, but I don't know how to get started, or they might have some questions. But it's all so exciting because the important thing about following up is it helps me move them to the next step. And then that next step, why is that important? Because it also helps me either move them off of my list of things to do, or, you know, like my plate of people that I need to be following up with, or it helps me get oils in their home. And why is that important to me, right? Why does it matter if we're getting people's oils in their home? And your answer might be different than mine. It might be, you know, this is helping me reach my goal, where I'm able to provide for my family, or I'm able to bring my husband home from work, or I'm able to take that vacation, or I'm able to pay for my kids' private school. Whatever is your, why is it important to you? Like, why does it matter if you're getting people enrolled? Or it might be, I'm helping empower these people in their home. My why has changed, so the reason why I follow up is different than it was a few years back, because it used to be, you know, I need to be able to pay my mortgage, I need to be able to feed my family, I need to be able to like support my home, right? At this point, that's not really a driving why for me, and if that was my only why, then I wouldn't really have much inspiration or motivation to follow up, because I'm blessed to have been doing this for 9 years, so we do have that fabulous residual income. However, I am very much motivated by continuing this mission, by blessing lives, by helping my leaders, by helping impact those people, because I know there's far too many people that are out there still looking for a better way, still looking for a better way for their health, and still looking for a better way for their wealth. And I love being able to make that impact on people's lives and in their families and in their relationships. I absolutely love that, and I feel very called to do that. And if I'm not following up, then I'm not actually achieving that mission that I feel so passionate about accomplishing. So whatever it is that you feel like you are avoiding, or you feel like is kind of heavy and you know you should, I want you to go through this cycle and ask yourself, is it really something that you should be doing, or are you just thinking you should be because somebody else said it or somebody else is doing it? Now, if it's really something you should be doing, ask yourself why. And why is that important? What results does you doing that action get? And why does that matter to you? And you might need to ask yourself, okay, like, you know, I have clean clothes, or okay, they enroll, but why does that matter to you? Until you root it back to something that you are actually so passionate about. I absolutely love when someone calls me like so excited about telling me something that happened with their oils. And it's like, yeah, I know, that's what I said it would do. They're like, no, you don't understand, but it works so fast. And, you know, we're just like, I've had grown men with tears in their eyes saying like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. We are not losing our home. Or I'm able to, you know, work again, or play with my kids, or dance with my wife, or, you know, just, there's so much joy we can infuse into this world when we show up. And if we are tied deeply to the actions that we're doing, and we remember why we're doing them, because we're choosing to do them, because of the result that we want to create by doing them, then we get so excited. Like, I just can't wait to follow up with all these people, because I'm so excited to go down that path with them. I'm so excited to join in their essential oil journey. I'm so excited to do these things. So I really want to shift that perspective. And then the last thing that I want you to look at is really like courting your business. Because we all know, like in the beginning of dating, everything is just magical. Everything's, you kind of show up as your best self. You're just kind, you're giving, you're serving, and you do show up as your best self. And it's similar in our business. Sometimes we're like so excited in the beginning, everything's magical, these oils are amazing, everything's great, but we're gonna come across the road sooner or later where it's like your spouse is leaving their socks out. And that could be something that we could really just get hung up on, and we can start to neglect some of the things that are amazing. So it's easy. So basically, John and I we have 4 kids together, but we also live together all the time. We build a business together. He's been home full time for 7 years now. And so, yeah, a little bit over 7 years, like 7.5. So we do a lot together. And sometimes I notice that there's things that he's doing that I totally just take for granted. Like that's just part of it. He brings me water every night when he goes and locks up the house, and he brings me vitamins. And he, like, if I pull in with groceries, I don't even say anything. He's out there unloading them, and he takes the kids to their sports, and he like is willing to, at the drop of the hat, do like run any errands that I need ran, because he loves to get out of the house more. He's just does so many things that are amazing, and they almost just feel like the standard. Like that's just what we do now, because and those things aren't always paid much attention to. But then it's when it's like, oh, he left his socks on the floor again. Oh my gosh, this is so hard. There's things that we could nitpick and pull apart on any relationship, and we can in our business as well. With anything in life, there's going to be some things that are going to be difficult with parenting, with work, with any experience, with getting into shape. There's going to be things that we love about it, and there's going to be things that are hard. So in this business, there will be some things that you're like, oh, I don't know if I feel like getting on calls today, or I don't know if I feel like going and teaching this class, or I don't know if I feel like having this crucial conversation with somebody. There's going to be some things that like are not as joyful as others, but it's important that you reflect on why this relationship with your business is so important to you, on what this business actually provides in your life. I want you to notice all of those little services that this business does for you, like your spouse would, and how can you show up in this business to make that relationship better? Because in any relationship, if you're, courting somebody, you wouldn't just show up as your grumpy, complaining, in your sweatpants, haven't showered for 5 days, and then be like, why are you not romantic? Why aren't you bringing me flowers, right? So I really want you to kind of shift your perspective on ways that you can show your business love so that you can enjoy and create more love of your business. So what we want to do is reflect and redesign our perspective when we're looking at our business. Let's reflect on how far we've come. Let's reflect on all of the things about this business that we absolutely love, that we enjoy, that light us up, that have stretched us, that have grown us, and kind of helped us achieve things that we didn't really know we were capable of. And then let's redesign our passion. When are we going to spend our focus days? When are we going to take some time to nourish ourselves, to have those buffer days? What activities are we kind of putting on the back burner and procrastinating, and why? What can we do to redesign our passion around that and our motivation around that? And that's really all I have today. I'm going to see if we have any questions. I'll also read through these comments a lot. You guys are so nice. Hi, Lizzie. We've got lots of people on today live. Fantastic. So Shirley, great. Instead of thinking, oh, I need to start this, I need to think, I can't wait to start this. The outcome will be amazing. So Laura, I have stacks of prospects' names from drawing slips from classes. Now I have them in an Excel spreadsheet ready to reach out to them, hoping they didn't enroll with someone else. Yes, and sometimes when we procrastinate for too long, then we use that as the excuse, right? Oh, it's been so long, they probably forgot about me, maybe they've enrolled with somebody else. But how exciting just to find out. And even if they're enrolled, like cheer them on, awesome, they're part of this mission, right? And if they haven't, then that's an opportunity to help them down that path. So one of my frontline posted about how I was following up with her for 7 years yesterday. So Emily wrote, I loved Carrie's Instagram post about your 7-year follow-up strategy. And that's so true. I mean, I didn't haunt her, but the door was always left open. You would be surprised how many of my leaders today were just not interested. And sooner or later, something happens where they call me up and they're like, okay, so do you have an oil for this? Or do you really think I could make money with this? Like, I really can't stand my job anymore. Do you really think I could make money with this? And so that follow-up process is actually really exciting. And it's almost a game that I play now. Like, okay, you think you're not interested. We'll see. Because it does, like, things happen and we just plant those seeds, plant those seeds, plant those seeds. And when it's harvest time, they'll let you know. So following up can be really fun. You guys are really nice. So I will read through all of these and comment on, respond to any questions. I know some people will be watching this on the recording as well. So I love you all, and I love this business. It has blessed my life so much. It has blessed my family so much. Some of my longtime friends that I care about and love so much. I love being able to see the impact that it has in their lives. I love seeing the impact that it has in your lives. We don't have to work anymore, but we love this business so much because we love you, and we love seeing the lives that you are touching and the ripple effect that we can create when we all work together to spread this message of hope and better options to the rest of the world. So hope you guys can reflect and love your business even more. Mwah. And we will stop now.